That fell down on the wall. Hello and welcome to Daddy Share Space. So today I just want to talk a little bit about a tool that I recently purchased, and it's this Makita Cut-Out Saw. It's made for drywall, and basically what I'm going to do today is start making an alteration to one of my drywall carts. The reason why I bought this tool, I thought it was a very cool tool to own, simply because it gives you the ability to cut sheetrock without cutting anything behind it, which would be interfering with studs or potentially electrical wiring or anything. So if you take a closer look at the tool here, there's a dust port portion right here. You can pop this off and you can add a hose to actually collect your dust, or you can use this provided cap and pop it on there, and it will collect some of the dust inside of this area here. It does have onboard storage for the actual Allen key for changing bits, which is here. Okay. It is an 18-volt tool, so it runs on Makita's 18-volt platform, obviously. It's got a lockout switch right here that you can push back and forth to lock it. Right? So when you pull forward on these two notches, there's one on this side here, and there's another one on this side. So when you pull them back towards the back of the tool, you can actually slide this tray out, the dust collection area, and then if you can get a look in here, this is where the blade is, and you can adjust the blade. Now, it is not a toolless design. You actually have to use the Allen key to adjust the blade up and down, which I'll show you here in just a bit. It's an odd shaped tool, you know, if you just look at the actual form factor, but it's meant to, you know, kind of travel up a wall or across the wall, or you can even use it like a typical jigsaw in cutting sheetrock. So let me go ahead and try to demonstrate the adjustment of the blade. I believe I have some sheetrock here. Let me grab that. So here I have a piece of sheetrock that I have been practicing on making cuts. And what I want to do is adjust this blade to cut just through the sheetrock. And it's fairly close right now. I've actually tried it in the past, but it actually leaves the paper on the back side. So I'm going to basically drop the blade just a hair. According to this scale, there's a scale right here of numbers going from, I see 25 millimeters all the way. Right now I have it on 12 millimeters. I'm going to make that a little bit deeper, so probably go to like 13 millimeters approximately, to try to get this to cut all the way through. So I'm going to take the Allen key here, and then I'm going to unscrew the Allen keys here, or the bolts rather. So they're loosened. I'm just going to go ahead and loosen them a little bit more, and then from here I just slide it down just a hair. So now I'm going to basically snug that up right where it is, and we'll do a test cut to see how well that adjustment works out for me. Now this actually does come with a kind of a plastic blade guard. It's over there on my MFT somewhere, and there's kind of like a plasticky shoe so that you kind of don't mar surfaces much with it. It's not super soft, but it's just plastic. Underneath there's a little bit of metal. That's pretty much all I have to say. Let's go ahead and just try the tool out. That's what this is about. So let's go ahead and put the dust collection guard back on, and it just slides on and pops in. I know Makita makes a backpack that you can utilize to hook this on, so that if you're cutting like overhead or something like that, you wouldn't have to worry about you know, dust collection or having a hose that wasn't following you with the job. Or you could use a battery powered dust extractor. They have one of those as well. Now this particular tool does not appear to have their wireless technology where you can put in their Bluetooth chip so that you can activate the dust extraction. I believe with the backpack vacuum, I think it has a remote, so you can turn it off and on like that. And then obviously if you use the tool, like say, if you were able to put like a Festool vacuum on here with the Bluetooth, you could just hit that Bluetooth button. Or if I can configure it to work with my dual dust extraction deal, I would be able to activate it with the remote, wireless remote. Now, this particular dust collection hose is very unique. It's very small by comparison to any of the ones that I've seen in the past, so I know for certain that I would need some kind of an adapter to get that to work. Just to make sure I don't cut into my MFT here. And then I'm gonna put this sheetrock on top. Alright, and we'll see, you know, what we can see here. So I've got it down on the piece here, and I'm just gonna make a cut straight across. Alright, so one thing I noticed, it is a bit too deep because it's actually digging into the wood. Let me try it again. Yeah, so I want to basically back up and pull the blade back a bit. Now, technically when I was adjusting this, I should have had the battery out. And I was trying to get away with eyeballing it. That's not really going to work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the onboard Allen wrench. I'm going to loosen the Allen screws again. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the device here on the edge of the sheetrock, and I'm going to manipulate the blade. Actually, I'm going to turn it upside down. Let's turn it upside down. And right here, if you can kind of get a look here, how far the teeth are coming down, and I'm going to try to push the blade back to barely make it through. Let me see if I can do this with one hand here. All right, so I got it there. The blade is loose. I'm sliding it. First I'm making it flush on the bottom, and then I'm going to push it up. So we'll put the battery back in, and then we'll put it down here and try to cut. Okay, as you see, I was able to get through without any problem. And then it left the paper on the back. So if you take a look at that cut there, down here you can look at that cut, and well, now I'm tearing the paper. Let me get a razor knife here, and if I just bend it like this here, let me move this out of the way, and just run this through, and it comes right off, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut up here. Okay, so if you take a look right up here, you can see I have two lines. I have the top line and the bottom line. And the reason why I have those two lines is because I made that cut without the dust collector on there. Let me put that back on. The reason why I made the two lines is because basically the bottom line is where I'm going to cut, which will be across here, and the top line is basically where the shoe is going to be. And so basically, okay, so what I'm doing with the drywall cart right now is I'm actually going to make a cut all the way across here, because I'm going to cut this whole cart down. And the reason being is when I designed my cart, I was designing it so it could be a backdrop for any kind of videos, and there's obviously storage on the back side. But I have a new idea that I want to kind of try to implement with the drywall cart, and that is basically kind of make it into like a garage extender. And what I mean is, like, say if you wanted to work outside your garage but you wanted a little bit of privacy, the way I built the cart currently, it's too tall to actually roll outside. So I'm going to cut it down. First I'm going to use my Makita cutout tool to cut across here to cut the sheetrock. Once I get to the sheetrock, I actually went out and I purchased a Milwaukee. Let me show you here. I purchased this Milwaukee Fuel Super Sawzall, and that is going to be, that's basically an upgrade over my Ryobi Sawzall that I had. It's not the brushless motor, it's a brushless model. It's one of the older versions, and I'm going to use a Super Sawzall to cut all of the studs that are behind here and cut this all down, and then I'll refabricate the top so that basically so that it can actually roll outside. And as I'm actually thinking about this, I may have to even come down further from here, and the reason being is because I have to consider the top plate on the wall. So if I cut it here, even when I put the top plate on, it may be too tall to actually go outside potentially. So what I'll do, I'll cut it down to this portion, and if I have to come back and cut it again, I'll just do it. Because as it is now, I'm going to cut down to this line. I'll come back with the Super Sawzall, cut all the studs all the way around, and if I need to drop it, say another 1.5 inches to put the top plate on, I'll do it. Otherwise, the top plate will make the wall very close to as tall as this top line here, and that'll just give me the opportunity to you know, like I said, roll the cart outside. And you see, with this side being plain, I could actually turn the wall out to the, you know, the general public. Like, so if I don't want, you know, if I want to have the garage door open but not have the neighbors look directly into the garage, I can kind of roll this out and block off that area, and I can take 2 carts out. I can take 1 cart out because on the left side there's the house, you know, a portion of the house, so no one can see from, you know, the left or when I'm facing out, but my neighbors from the right can see and my neighbors across the street can see. And basically what that'll do is help me to regain some space when I'm doing projects. And now that it's about to be summer, I may want to do some stuff outside, and that kind of expands the shop area. And, you know, basically I'll have the sun overhead while I'm working, and I can kind of go in and out as I'd like. So that's what I'm thinking, because with all the wall carts that I'm building here, it's getting kind of congested, it's tight. And I was going to take some of them down anyway. And, you know, as I said, this is version 1 of these projects. And yeah, it's just time for some alteration. All right, so obviously this panel is screwed in at the top. It looks like there's a screw here, here, here. So I'm gonna cut out a section in between so you can actually see how well it cuts and gets things out. go. So one of the pieces, the issues is there is a screw there, but let's cut the rest of this down and see how it does. Yeah, see that? When you have it at the right depth, it just comes right on out. I think it works pretty good.